Good news, your PCE results are in and they're benign. Hey, it's Eric Osnes from Homebridge Financial with my weekly update on mortgage rates, the economy for the week ending March 31st, 2023. Well, thank you for that good news, doctors of economics. Friday brought us a nice end to a quiet week in the financial markets with last month's PCE results coming in lower than expected, down to 5% inflation annually from 5.3% in January. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Index is favored by the Fed as a reliable measure of inflation. I debate that a little bit because it's a backward looking statistic, but at least it's headed in the right direction. Why is it so backwards? Well, because the shelter component of PCE accounts for 16% of that statistic. And that's kind of a problem because shelter is a backward looking statistic. And it's a 12-month rolling average of inflation. And you can look at this chart and see that in the last 12 months, shelter has been dropping precipitously. This is a national rent index, which is a very good indicator. So why is PCE looking here when prices were still rising, sort of during the middle of COVID, when it should be looking here when rental prices are falling? Well, that's starting to cure itself as we move along a little bit further. The problem is that the Fed is looking at this and they're looking backward instead of looking forward. And that increases the risk that they're going to overdo their rate hikes. And by overdoing it, that's going to cause more harm to our economy and could make the upcoming recession deeper than it has to be. So that's our concern. Next week is jobs week, and we do expect some volatility in the bond markets leading up to the release as they start on Wednesday. But if jobs come in lower than expected, that will be another sign of a slowing economy, which it should happen, and rates will fall. For the week, interest rates were up just a little bit. Here is the national average. Conventional 30-year fixed rates, 6.57%, up about 0.19 from a week ago. 15-year fixed rates, 5.99%, up about 0.12. FHA and VA 30-year fixed rate, 6.02 to 6.1, up a little bit, about 0.32 from a week ago. And 30-year fixed rate jumbos, 5.94, pretty much flat from last week. 5/1 ARM, I don't really talk about too terribly much right now because our yield curve is inverted, meaning that shorter term loans oftentimes now have a higher interest rate than longer term loans. It's upside down and also another sign of the impending slowdown in the economy. Moving on, change is in the air. So I've got some personal announcements to make. Our company name is changing to CMG Home Loans, and a little bit of history on that. Our lending team, well, scratch that. Our lending family started with Home Street Bank. And as Home Street, we're one of the top mortgage lenders on the entire West Coast. But in 2019, Home Street decided to largely divest from mortgage lending, and they sold our mortgage operation to Homebridge Financial, a national top 20 lender. We've loved working for Homebridge, and through that journey, our team has grown and prospered. Same management team that was at Home Street Bank, took us along to Homebridge. It's been a great ride. But earlier this month, our CEO announced his intention to semi-retire. He'd been in talks with his best friend, Chris George, who's the CEO of CMG Financial, also a top 10 independent mortgage company, and they decided to merge the companies together. So effective tomorrow, and this is not an April Fool's joke, Homebridge will become part of the CMG family. We'll still be in the same offices with the same staff and the same phone numbers and everything that you're used to. And our loans will transfer over as well. So we'll continue to be able to offer outstanding customer service long after your loan is funded. And I'm liking how the CMG interest rates are looking. I'll be talking more about CMG in the coming weeks, including some very innovative patented products that they offer. In the meantime, just reach out if I can answer questions, help solve those complicated mortgage-related story problems. The name might be different, but you'll still get the great service that you're used to receiving. That's all I've got for this week. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.